Okay, I think we're full ready to go. I think. Happy days. I'll turn my phone on silent. Are you excited that you're the very first one?
Well, I'm a bit nervous because I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I hope you've got some questions, Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just do not disturb. I'll just turn this on.
Would mine's on Do Not Ring, but will it still go bzz, bzz?
I don't mess with iPhones. I can.
Right. No, it's all right.
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's, yeah. Cool. So what did you want to talk about, Mum?
Garrick, you told me you were having questions.
Well, I suppose
Don't put me on the spot.
I suppose the first thing is because how many of us are all up? How many siblings have I got?
6.
6.
Well, 5.
5, including me. So I suppose...
No, 6, including you. I think we should start again.
Well, I can just edit it out.
Okay.
I suppose the first question, the most obvious one, would be, why am I the favourite?
I knew you were going to ask that. Who says you are the favourite? Every child thinks they're the favourite, but everybody's equal.
No, I suppose, so about like well, growing up, I suppose, when I was growing up, when did you think that I had a problem with alcohol? Like, when did you notice that I was like drinking a lot?
Well, I guess I know you started when you were probably 15. In year 9, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I remember I was pretty dismayed about that. But I guess it was when you started your apprenticeship and you came home and you were drinking every night in your bedroom. And then I thought, oh, well, it's just the blue-collar environment that he's in. But, yeah, I guess around that stage, and I've written so many letters over the years that I never gave you.
Have you really?
Yes.
Have you still got them?
You wouldn't want to see them, I don't think. Yeah.
Oh,
just
that's heavy.
I know.
Just knowing that you've done that, it's like, have you really?
Yes.
That's messed up.
Sorry.
I never knew that. It just makes me feel really weird.
Oh, okay.
No, well, like knowing that you got to the point to write me letters about that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But had I given them to you, it probably, I don't think it would have made any difference. It just probably would have damaged our relationship.
It's like anything, I suppose. It's like how we've spoke a few times, like if you're not ready, you're not ready. And I've had people now that I'm sober asking me, can you talk to this person, talk to that person and whatnot. But like, if you don't want to hear it, it makes it worse, I think.
Yeah.
For sure. Wow, that's heavy. That's, I think I'd like to read them one day, but I just don't know when. Yeah, maybe one day.
Okay.
Wow.
I could never understand why you were drinking so much because, we never drank in front of you. We were never big drinkers. And then I found out that there's genetic issues, around alcohol, that it, you can be affected by your genes if you've got a predisposition to alcohol.
Yeah.
So then I guess I had a bit of, not an excuse, but maybe a reason, but...
It is, yeah, I don't know either. I think it was just because, well, I mean, when I was like at the parties and stuff, when we started going to parties, I started drinking. And then, yeah, when I was started the apprenticeship, it was just everyone drank. So it was just the done thing. And I don't really know. I just did, but I don't know like why I just fell into it, I think, sort of thing.
And for a long time after you stopped, when you'd come over and you'd have a can of that non-alcoholic, when I'd hear the rip of the rip top, it's like a PTSD thing.
People still now, like mates, I don't say that often and stuff, like if I have like a can of Coke or something like that, like that noise, like like people's ear, like, necks near swivel, heads near swivel off their neck and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it is, how long was it, they were jumping forward a bit, but how long was it like because I still remember when I left rehab, and because I left it early, and I rang you off Chantel's phone because she picked me up. And I rang you to tell you that I'd left, and you were like a bit shocked. Was that, how did it feel to start with? Were you like terrified that because I'd left early?
I think I was disappointed because I expected you to be gone for maybe a year, 18 months. And then I was like, oh no, he's back. Yeah, I think disappointed was my first response, because I was thinking, how could he have been sorted out in such amount of time?
And how was it like, I mean, well, assuming that it is, but how you're saying you get PTSD when you hear like me open any sort of tin drink. when was it, if it has happened already, that like you're like, do you think that I'm all right now and that I'm, sort of thing?
Yeah, now when I hear you come over and the first thing you do is go out to the fridge and grab a drink and open it, I'm okay when I hear that sound now.
And how long did it take you to get to
Just
that?
now. I only realised the other day.
Yeah, wow.
This week. And,
Yeah.
I remember when you first stopped and then you were coming over and you were having herbal teas with 2 and 3 tea bags in them. And William asked me, did I think that Garrick had a problem with herbal teas now? I'm like, good Lord. Where is this coming from? Herbal teas, but he's addicted to herbal teas. Yes, maybe he is.
I don't mind a good herbal tea. It's good. Yeah, so it's a weird one, the whole, because as you said, like you guys didn't drink around me or anything like that. So I don't really know. I think it was literally just like my work environment, the people that were outside of home and whatnot. Well, my dad's a big drinker too, isn't he? Like that's how you were saying about the whole genetic thing and whatnot. Like
he was. I don't know about now, but certainly on my side, there's some big drinkers in my family.
Is that
going back generations?
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Uncles and
yeah, and
not my parents, but uncles.
No, I was going to say I can't remember Nana Pop drinking. What was so when I still remember the day that so like it took so long to get to figure out what to do, to how to get me detoxed and the process to go through and how to go about it. And then finally when we got all that sorted and they said that they'd accept me and they'd ring me with a date. And then I remember when they rang me and gave me the date, and it was in I think it was in 3 or 4 weeks' time, I think. And I was like, I remember just feeling that relief. And because the doctor had said, like, don't slow down, don't do anything, like you need... rolling your eyes. You need to get medically detoxed. So just sort of keep on the path you're doing, which it was a bit of, some part of me deep down felt like I was cheating because I was like, I get an easy way out. I don't have to do much. I go there and get sorted. But I still remember the date that I got given, and I was like leading up to it, and I was still like, drinking myself like to sleep essentially every night. And then the morning, I remember waking up and the not check-in, it's not a hotel, but the time that accept me was 10 o'clock. I remember I woke up in the morning, I was so happy. I was like, this is like my day. And I remember ringing you and I remember you answering the phone. I could hear like the panic in your voice, like as if you were thinking that I was going to pull the pin. But I remember, I was just saying, I was like, it's my day. And I was just crying with happiness. Like it's just... It was the best feeling, and that was when I wonder, because when I first went in there, it was 10 o'clock admission time, and I had feeling all this paperwork, and then it got to 10. Like by the time we done all that, it was 10:30, and they said, "Oh, we got a breatho you to sign paperwork to allow us to search you," and I was .087, and I was still. Haven't I told you this?
Yeah. I've forgotten that.
Yeah, so I was .087 at 10th. And I didn't have a big glass Hurrah. I just drank the normal amount. And I would have driven myself in there, thought I was fine. So I was .087. And I said to him, I was like, that's broken. I said, yeah, everyone says that, so have another go. And then, I was still .087. And then that was about 10:30. So they put me in a room. They couldn't start the treatment or anything, the Valium essentially. And then at lunchtime, I was .066, I think, from memory. And they were like pumping me full of water and feeding me and stuff. And then it was 2:05. They came in, I was .037, I think it was, or .033 or around there. And I was like sweating and shaking. And they said, oh, like you thought this didn't happen. I said, no, this is the first time. It must be because I'm nervous. And literally realised it was because I had constantly had alcohol in my system, because I would have started drinking again by then, that time of the day. And it was like, yeah. So I remember sitting there in that time just like hating myself, just like, how has it come to this? Like, you piece of shit. But I often was thinking, like I was like beating myself up somewhat on purpose, I think. But I was often thinking like how you guys are feeling. Like I wondered if, because I was in there and sort of, it was, I was getting help, if you guys felt like somewhat of relief, or if you was more like you're apprehensive, thinking like, shit, I hope he stays there. Like I hope he sees it through. Or did it feel somewhat of relief? Or
Yeah, probably both relief, but also wondering if you'd be able to stick it out. But I remember in that, I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 weeks leading up to when you were admitted into the rehab, that you were moving a lot of rocks around with the digger.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
yeah.
And you had to drink.
That could be taken to so many different ways, but I do. I was moving from the quarry next door, massive boulders with my little excavator. But yeah, carry on.
And you had to drink, I can't remember how many cans it was. You had to drink 16 a day.
No, it was 18 at that point.
18.
Yeah.
And I was paying for those, and I remember thinking, I'm working all day to buy you 18 cans of beer every day in the same day, just over and over and over again. It was just such a weird time.
It was, in my mind, I was sort of like, I just wasn't thinking about that side of it sort of thing at all. It was a very selfish time in my life for sure. It was more just thinking like, everyone's going to do what they need to do to help me. Like, it didn't worry me. And then, that reminds me, the funniest part of it all was because I made you power of attorney, which you still are, I think, aren't you? Power of attorney, yeah. So I made you power of attorney and stuff and got all my ducks in a row. But before I went in, not that I had much left over at that point. But and then the rehab place that I went to, Transformations, the part of the deal was you had to be on Centrelink. And which I wasn't before going in there. So they helped me set it all up. And I had to go in there to sign some... Oh, no, sorry, they rang me up or rang up the centre because we weren't allowed access to phones or internet or whatnot. And I was talking to them and they said, you'll have to sign these forms. You'll have to come in. And I said, my mum's power of attorney. And there was sort of this pause on the other end of the line. The lady said, yeah, but you've still got to sign this bit of paper to nominate her as a power of attorney. And I was like, do you understand what power of attorney is? Like, that means she is essentially me, like, as far as this goes. Like, and she was like, yeah, but we still... And there was no way around it. I had to still nominate... Oh, no, you had to nominate yourself. That's what it was. You had to sign paperwork to being my power of attorney to allow you to be my power of attorney, which I thought was like... It was one of the more humorous things that happened in rehab. But yeah, it was... Yeah, it was weird as like, and I suppose I didn't think about the money side of it. And I tell people now, like, I was like I didn't think about it at the time, but I was just staying afloat, like only just. And then when I first came back out and I started making money again, I didn't think I'd have to catch up, but I did. Like, I honestly feel like I just got back, like in financially in the nick of time, sort of thing, before things got like really, really bad. Which, yeah.
But it was interesting when you came back that then the doors opened in regards to work and jobs coming in. Do you remember that?
Yeah, 100%.
Just like the floodgates opened.
It was strange because I was convinced that, like, the people that I drank with and stuff, that's the way I got work. I know people that drink. If I don't associate with these people that are drinking and whatnot, then I'm not going to be able to get work. But I was it didn't occur to me at the time, but there's like people that don't drink out there that do work and stuff as well. And you're right, it was it just poured in. It was it was perfect timing. It's good. Did you ever think, like, was there ever a point at all leading up? Did you ever think that you'd like actually lose me? Like, I'd completely go off the rails, sort of thing? Definitely.
And yeah, given the family, well, what went on, yes, definitely.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I feel like I feel the same. Like, I was just was very close to the point of like not caring anymore, and just like, this was good enough for me, sort of thing. Which is so weird to like think about now. To think back that just how things could have been so much different. Like, we'd be never doing this. Might not be even talk. Like, it was crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, I guess after Daniel went, I wondered then what the future held for you. How would you be able to get through that? How would we all get through that?
That was messed up as well. So where we're recording this at the moment is on our family farm, and there's a shack that we call the lodge. It was called the Lakeside Lodge because it's built just next to a lake. And then our best mate, when did Cruzy come and live with us? Like, how old? I would have been 15.
14 or 15.
Yeah. And my best mate, this bloke who I got along really well with at school, he came and moved. He had a bit of trouble at his place, and he came and moved in with us, and he sort of never really left, did he? He just
No.
like slotted in so well.
We were the family that he chose. One of his sisters told me once. I mean, he still had his own blood family. I'm not taking away from that, but yeah, he became one of us as well.
Yeah,
and it still is.
That was So he moved in with us, and he was just instantly became part of the family, and he's my eldest boy's godfather, and he then went and joined the Navy and did some bits and pieces, and he'd come back for a little while and whatnot, and he'd gone through a breakup, and he came back down. He was staying where we are now at the lodge, and I don't even think he'd stayed here one night.
He had.
Oh, he had
for 3 nights.
Oh, 3 nights. Anyway, and then he came over to my place just a couple of k's down the road, and was talking to us, and everything was all normal as far as I know. We had a drink and we're just sort of reminiscing, and he was saying, like, you just wouldn't have picked it, but and then he gave us a hug, me and Chantel, and told us he loved us, and went and checked himself out. That was sort of it. So now we've renamed the Lakeside Lodge to Cruisy's Lodge. But that was that was cooked. That wasn't good at all. Like that, I still remember driving down because he was supposed to go to work, and his uncle rang and said he wasn't there. So I went down to try and find him, and just found his car there and the police and whatnot. And I just remember ringing you, but that wasn't good. I think that shook all of us up. Like it took me a long time, it was only after I got sober to sort of work through it and I suppose accept it. You don't really just accept it, sort of thing. In the end, can't really make heads or tails of it all, I guess. Yeah, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I don't know that the acceptance is, well, we've got to accept that he's gone, but yeah, it's like life changed on that day, and it's never been the same. It's always, your life is defined before Daniel went and then after Daniel went. It's like a line in the sand.
I still, he left a couple of us letters, and Mum and myself being one of them, and I didn't read his letter for a long year or more afterwards, just for that reason. Because I was like, well, it doesn't matter, because nothing that's in there is going to be like, oh, well, that's fair enough. Like, that makes sense. I just couldn't read it because it wasn't going to justify or change anything for me. It was just, but I'm very grateful now that he, the time that we did get to spend with him, that he did choose us as his other family, sort of thing.
Yeah. And if there's one person that was listening to this that, could save someone, because there were no signs at the time, but looking back, we could see there was a lot of signs, but we just didn't pick up on them. And the day he went, or he chose to go, was just another normal day, wasn't it? He was his normal, loving, kind self, but that was his day he chose.
Well, I still remember my eldest brother's wedding, Scott's wedding. He had a Fiji, and we would have been 16, I think, at the time. So he hadn't been living with us long. And we flew us all over to Fiji with 50-cent pieces, I think. Is that right? Well,
I'd saved up my 50-cent pieces.
We'll come back to that. But so we all flew over to Fiji, and I mean, we were drinking heavily back then, and we were both smoking. And I still remember, like, we'd sit at the bar. I had braces on, pimply face, like quite obviously underage. We'd just sit there and, got tanked most of the time. And then coming back, that's right, because Nan came, your mother. Nan came, and she took a pack of 2-minute noodles unopened from Australia to Fiji. And then they're coming back, and she didn't eat them, so she's bringing them back. And they pulled out all the stops, interrogating her about bringing back this product back into Australia, and wouldn't let her have it. Meanwhile, me and Cruzy had brought these massive wooden blade machete coconut knives that were just in an X on top of one of our suitcases. And you're allowed to bring it back in wood products or weapons, but that was a good time. That was awesome. That was one of my fondest memories of cruising. I've still got some. Don't have many, but I've got a couple of good photos from that trip. But it was sort of darting all over the place here. But the 50-cent pieces. So pull me up here if I'm wrong, but for the way I remember it growing up, it was forbidden for anyone to spend 50. You saved every 50-cent piece that you ever had. So from I've never asked you about this, but because you had a shop for a long time. Did you used to bank the ones from the shop as well? Because like in your float and whatnot?
I was always tempted, but no, I didn't. But I started the 50 cents, I think, before you were born, and then we had a trip to New Zealand. Remember?
Yeah.
We went to New Zealand on the 50 cents, and then we went to Fiji. So but now there's no cash hardly, so I don't do it anymore.
That's mental to think that, like, you know, saving individual 50-cent pieces could fund something like that. You know,
Yeah,
it's crazy. And and the shop as well. So the shop that you had in town for like 10 years or something? Yeah,
10 years.
Selling like pots, and you're a big pot dealer in Hobart, weren't you?
That's it.
Pots and like garden furniture and all that. And
Water features.
Cruzy and I remember, still held the record. So you had like a team of, you know, like really high-end, well-trained staff. And there was myself and Cruzy, who were like 15, 16 at the time, probably hungover, that you'd left there one day by ourselves, or you went to some gift fair on the mainland, and we sold the most stuff, just the two of us, in any day at the shop. Just
Yeah.
which I used to love bringing that up. But the shop was cool. I had some good memories there. Met some good people and whatnot. Well, that's about all really I've got sort of written down. I think there's lots of other things. I mean, I thought about this for like ages, about who was going to be the first guest. And,
I feel honoured.
And that. And well, I feel like you would definitely come back and do more, but like, it's like I just try and get everything too perfect before, and then, you know, like perfection's the enemy of progress, which I sort of feel a lot. I don't like to do anything unless I've got like everything is in a row as much as I can. Like drinking, like I nailed that. Just
well done.
Yeah, I know. Just used to that really well. But anything else that you'd like to add, or any pivotal sort of moments or whatnot that you sort of feel that that happened or that stuck out? Or
I think I'll always remember your first birthday after becoming sober, your anniversary. Yeah, that's really special that we've had one, and we'll be coming up for a second one.
We will soon
in February. So
yeah, I'm nearly. So yeah, I'll be 2 years. It's November now, nearly December. So it'll be 2 years in February. But yeah, so the date that I went into detox, which is the 7th of February, is now like my
second birthday.
My second birthday, and Mum got me this, like, you know, it was like this first birthday card. I was like, you know, I'm proud of you. You're like a big boy and all this stuff. And so yeah, it's cool. I often think, I suppose the last thing, like the biggest thing that I'm like proud. I mean, I'm proud of a lot of things that like went through it, but a large part of me used to know, but like I never could sort of like vocalize it, sort of thing. But I was always worried that you'd like, and touch wood, you got a lot of years left in you, but I was always worried that when your time comes, that you'd go to your grave worrying about me. Like everyone's all sorted and stuff, and I always worried that you'd like, be worried about me, which is like, I like, you know, I hope that you don't think that now. Like it's actually, that's one of like the biggest, proudest things that I feel like you can be, like when you leave, you'll be at peace somewhat because you don't have to worry about me.
Yeah, it's like the tide's turned. Now you come and help me with things, whereas before I was always helping you. And I remember talking about worrying every time you got caught drink driving, all that worry, you know, of what was going to happen. Were you going to lose your job, or what would happen to your future? How would it affect you? And I was praying and praying every time. And I don't know, God always seemed to get you off, or, you know, make it manageable, that you didn't end up in prison. I mean, that was nothing short of a miracle.
It was 4 times I got caught drink driving all up, and the fourth was whilst I was disqualified for drink driving. And I still remember I was working at one of the councils at the time on the tools as a diesel mechanic, and the lawyer, he was like, "Yeah, you're going in. Like that's it." So I'd written a letter out and everything, and that was when you had the shop, because I remember I had my suit down at the shop. So I said to my boss, I said, "Oh, I've just got to duck out for an hour."
Didn't you tell him?
No. And I had it lined up with the old man, with the old boy.
Oh.
So I'd written a letter, basically explained to the old boy was going to go and talk to the union rep. Like I had the people's names there, go and talk to the union rep. This is my boss's number. I gave him the keys to my toolbox and was like, you know, pick it up or leave it there. If they're going to sack me, bring it home, you know, whatever. And it was only because the woman I was with at the time had a car accident, wasn't in a good way, and we were the last ones in the courtroom, and she had like one of those full back brace things on. And yeah, I remember the judge, I still remember it now, he's like, "Oh, you know, Garrick, like, considering your complete disregard for the law, I've got no other option but to sentence you for a term of imprisonment, and you've got no respect for anyone else and all this stuff. And I remember just sinking, and I turned around and looked at you guys like, oh my gosh. And then there was this big dramatic, like he just dragged it out, and then at the end it was just like, but you're the sole breadwinner, your partner's broken her back, like I'll suspend this sentence for 3 months. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was but yeah, it was 4 times, and I got pulled over twice and blew just over, and then by the time they got me to the cop shop was under, and a couple of times, like other times I had close calls, but it was just so weird. Like at the time, you don't think I could justify everything like this. It's not affecting my life. I can still go to work. I can still, even when you lose your life, but it's just crazy, like what you can get away with and justify when it's like that.
I think in hindsight that I made things too easy for you when you'd lost your license. That I was running you here, there, and everywhere.
I don't know. Like
you didn't suffer.
No, but so there's a good expression that is if people with addiction and stuff like that, which will obviously played a large part in me losing my license. But it's if you baby them, you bury them. Which, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, because it was only, somewhat, you're right, you did help me a lot, but then the actual, like, at the other end of it, when it was time to get into rehab and stuff, like, I was, like, dead against anything, like, I feel like everyone was walking on eggshells, and same with, like, Karen from Raw that was, like, help me, she'd come over and just check in, and, like, it had to be my decision. As you said, like, I feel if you guys had have made it harder for me, then our relationship would have suffered, which now saying that out loud makes me realise that I was just like a piece of shit at the time. But yeah, I think it's a hard one, and I don't think there's any real, definitive correct approach. What works for one doesn't work for another, and whatnot. But you guys were very accommodating and did help me out a lot with everything, losing my licence. But it's weird, like as you said, how when I came out of rehab, and it was only like days or a week after you went down gathering your chook eggs and literally snapped your wrist in half.
That's right.
And then it was, and as you said, you're like, if you were, and because I was running you around your hospital, and it was so funny. I just come out of this like sedated state of 15 years. And then here you are, though you're on like oxys and like heavy painkillers. I've still got a video of me picking you up from one hospital and taking you to another, and you got out of the car and you're just staring up at the sky, and I was like, are you right, Mum? You were just like, oh, I look so pretty. And I was like, my mum's off her face. Like,
I was in a lot of pain.
You were, but it was like, it all worked out. As you said at the time, because we were lambing or cutting hay or whatever was happening on the farm, and no one else was available to like do anything, and I'd just come out of rehab and was all right to sort of run you around and whatnot. So it worked out really well. I mean, as far as people going to rehab and snapping wrists in half, it sort of worked out all right, I think. Yeah. Cool.
That's it then.
Well, I think so. Unless you got anything else to add.
No, I'll probably think of things afterwards. So we'll have
too.
To do it all again.
For sure. And like I had a bit of a list written down and whatnot, but I thought, this is the first one anyway, so just getting one out of the way. And I mean, for all I know, this might not save. This could. I hope it works. I might give it to Jonathan, and he might go, no, this is terrible. But
yeah.
But thanks for sticking by me and giving birth to me and. All of that.
Well, thanks for having a chat today. It's been good.
That was a bit formal, I feel. I feel that was...
Oh, what do I say? See you, bruv.
You definitely don't say that.
Okay.
Oh, you could say, Annie out.
I could say, well done. I could finally say, I'm proud of you, Garrick.
That's kind, but I sort of feel like it shits on everything else I achieved beforehand. What about, like... Oh, there wasn't much, you don't reckon?
I'm not saying that, but I'm proud of what you have achieved in breaking your addiction.
Yeah.
And then giving up smoking. Yeah. The last few months, that's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I better let you go because you're a busy woman. But yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Over and out.